friends. We've read some amazing books this year, and I wish that I had them all home so I could record them so you could look at them and hear them again. Um, but I do happen to have one of my favorites at home that I do want to share, and I know that most of my students have heard it already, but if you haven't heard it, I bet you'll enjoy it, and even if you have heard it, I bet you'll enjoy hearing it again. Okay, now the name of the book is not actually, it's on the inside, but this is Rosie Revere, Engineer. Look at all those amazing things on the cover of this book and on the back of this book. And it is written by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Roberts. Hopefully I said those correctly. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. See if you can spot which one is her. That looks very shy. If you can see her, she's right there. Everybody's smiling and talking, and she has her mouth closed, and her hair is even covering part of her face because she feels so shy. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Kind of like Molly Lou Mellon, she uses trash to turn it into things, or things that have been cast aside. Oh, let me show you a picture. There she is, getting some objects that she's found that she can find new uses for. That's a really good thing to help the earth. Alone in her attic, a lot of the houses around here don't have attics, but it's like a little storage room at the top of the house. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved, and when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. So she has all these great ideas, but is she sharing them with people, friends? No, she's keeping them a secret. Look at all that stuff. It's kind of like the cover of the book. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. Look at that. It's like, helium you put in a balloon and it makes the balloon go high up in the air. Well, you have pants to make him fly. That's pretty funny. That's kind of like a ride at Knott's Berry Farm or something, huh? The uncle she loved most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. I did not know that, but look at, she's got a crazy hat. I don't think I'd want a snake on my head, so maybe I would wear that at the zoo. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere. She's embarrassed, right? Who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Oh, truly I do. But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf and after that day kept her dreams to herself. Oh, that's sad. I don't know if he really was making fun of her, but she felt like he was. Sometimes people laugh at something when they're delighted by it, when they think it's just amazing. They might go, oh, I can't believe that. But you can also understand why she would feel sensitive. And that's how it went until one autumn day. Her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great Aunt Rose was a true dynamo. Dynamo is somebody that's really amazing, got a lot of energy and gets a lot done, who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dream. So she's thinking she's too old to ever fly, learn how to fly. So she's thinking about the past. Here, she's up here working on airplane, which is something that decades ago that a lot of women were doing. They were helping out by building airplanes. When a lot of the men were at war, the women stepped up and were helping build airplanes. That night, as Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." Oh, that's too bad. She's not believing in herself, is she? But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight. And this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She's not giving up on her idea after all. You know, have you ever had that happen? Like you get some idea when you're trying to sleep and it just sticks in your head. That seems to be what's happening to her. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test, just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. So she's still not super confident. She still thinks it'd be a flop. A flop is something that doesn't work out. But look what she's made. It kind of looks like a sail from like a boat, a sailboat or something on it. I'm curious. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Hello Cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. I always like to point out neat things in books. And don't you love how they write the words? Because it's almost like the words are following where the Hella Cheese copter is going. And so it was up in the air, but then it crashed. So let's see what happened. She's probably going to be disappointed, huh? Then Rosie heard laughter and turned around to see, oh no, someone's laughing at her again. The old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere. That sounds familiar, right? Who thought, oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin or build with a lever or switch or gear, and never will I be a great engineer. Oh, even her aunt's laughing. But do you think she's laughing at her, or do you think she's doing like what I said, how some people kind of laugh when they're amazed? I wonder. She doesn't know. She turned round to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. This great flop is over. It's time for the next. Young Rosie was baffled. Baffled is like, huh? Embarrassed, perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheese copter crashed. Oh, I love the rhymes in this, too. Yes, said her great aunt. It crashed, that is true. But first, it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that's so important that she says, I'm going to read it again because it's so important. You did it. Hooray. It's the perfect first try. This great flop is over. It's time for the next. So sometimes it's got to fail for you to know how to make it better. That's what that sounds like. So you don't give up, right? We never give up. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Success means it worked. It was good. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next. She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. Let's say that one again, too. The only true failure can come if you quit. So if you have a dream, you got to keep at it, friends. You got to keep trying and make it better each time. Oh, let me show you the picture. There she is. Wow, she's got some amazing drawings up there. Things. Oh, you know what? This is pictures of all the amazing things that were done to make airplanes. Yeah, that's very cool. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. We can do it, it says. She's trying again. She's making it better this time. But she might have to keep trying. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand in cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Oh man, you gotta look at these great things the kids are coming up with, right? Like this girl right here. She has, wow, she can have like her whole show all by herself. She's got her lights in her disco ball and so she can sing and she can have the lighting and everything. That's so cool. What else do we have up here? Wow, look at this guy's helmet. Guy or girl, we can't even see who's under there. This helmet's got all kinds of mirrors, so even when he or she's wearing the helmet, they can see what's happening around them. Very interesting. Lots of cool stuff. Oh, and look at this one. I'd like these. These are some slippers. Kind of some slippers you can use to clean the floor. The end. Hope you enjoyed Rosie's story. And remember, you got to keep trying, even at the first time. It doesn't work out like you thought. You got to try again. Use what you learned and keep trying until it's the way you really want it to be. All right, I'll talk to you soon.